Okay, so last time I showed a little bit of this pile of old literature I have, Vespa stuff, so I thought make a short video going through that today. So, as I mentioned, I picked this up a short while ago. Apparently been sitting around for a long time. So I'm just going to kind of walk through this stuff. So this is a price list, parts, accessories, and tools, Vespa Corporation of America, by the hexagonal logo. I'm guessing this is sometime in the late 1970s that this is for. Indeed, on the first page here, we have 1979. Pull each of these out of here. See here, get your French cut t-shirt. Other items are available to give your life a little Vespa accessory. 1979. This opens up. There's batteries, mirrors, seats that were available. Just scroll this a little bit here. A lot of racks were available. A lot of these are were for the Jow moped, but still a lot of really cool stuff. Here's a factory bulletin. Mid-America Vespa, Gearing, Nebraska. It's dated January 26, 1982. All Vespa and Bianchi dealers. I think I said that correctly. Accessory price lists. There's a number of things, items that are understocked and overstocked. Interesting. Set of price lists here. Bulbs, sealed beams. So there we had these sealed beams here in the U.S. At the time. Headlights. Looks like they were about $9 for must have been like a P series. It's really, inclusive. Pretty much everything you'd want. Here we see a bunch of paints. China blue, dark blue, grande blue, red, orange, burgundy, so on. There's a lined jacket, so French cut t-shirts. Those French cut t-shirts were $7.75 in 1982. Tires. Here we see a clutch cables. Boy, it's just everything. Promotional item, so you get a thermal tumbler for $2.30. Four-way wrenches. Here's a similar. So this is Piaggio tools, dealer prices. This appears to be January 1980, so a couple years earlier. Again, it's quite inclusive. Carburetor jets, screws, you name it. All of Piaggio part number. Would have wanted at a time. Here's the dealer net. So we have effectively the suggested markup here. This is kind of interesting. I'm an economist by trade, and I might throw all this data into a spreadsheet and just see if anything interesting presents itself from this. But again, you can see it's it pretty much mimics the other sheet, right? So you get this complete listing of everything. It's some idea about how many pages we're talking about here. That's quite a few pages. And that's what we have in this binder. So it's really just a set of pictures of what was available and then a complete price listing. Late 1970s, early 1980s. So interesting thing. It's original binder. Spine is Vespa Corporation of America. The next item then is this Vespa 64. So a little older. Accessories, parts, and. Okay, so this is by Vesconi, Vescony, exclusively importers for genuine Vespa products. I'm assuming that this is, exclusive to the United States because it's all in English. And we see it. The copyright here is Boston, Massachusetts. So it looks to be all U.S. stuff. I'm sure there's some people who know way more about this than I do, and they may be able to clarify. But here we see the conventional, so exploded diagram. Here a Vespa large frame motor, and then all the associated parts and associated part numbers. So again, Vespa large frame.
Engine and associated parts. Clutch side, clutch associated items. Good, right. So it's complete, right? Part numbers, carburetor.
And interestingly here, I assume this was for the GS and I guess the SS hadn't come out yet, but the GS and the earlier so-called wide frame models. Here we see this is the carburetor in particular, the separate swing arm that those engines have, and then parts, of course, right? These do not seem to be as complete as the previous listings. So maybe there was already some limited parts availability for those at that time. Gas tank. I think you get the idea here. I'm going to page through several of these. You can see continues, body, whole 9 yards here. And then we see a lot of sort of interesting pictures of Piaggio factory, presumably close to that time, close to 1964. I couldn't say for certain. And then we get to me what's the more interesting part of this, and this is these accessories that were available. It's tires, wheels, spare tire holder, racks, right? And some of these are, what I find particularly neat about is some of these are reproduced, like this guy here, rear rack. I find similar to these. They don't have the nice badge here, but similar. But these ones, we don't, or at least I haven't seen them around anywhere here in the States. And that's a shame because to me it always looks like the nicest racks are the ones that don't get reproduced, which is, well, maybe that's just my thinking, that I like things that aren't available. There's always, goofy hubcaps that were available. I shouldn't say goofy, but some of these you see, and then some of them I don't know that I've ever seen except for in this. Like I don't recall ever seeing this or this anywhere. So personally, that's my favorite. Maybe that one of the 4. Leg shield trim, front fender trim. Again, same sort of story. You see some of it, but there's some of this stuff I've never seen, like these small frame collar guards. Never seen anything like that. Windshields, mirrors, seat covers. And this is interesting to me because this is so much more exhaustive than I would have ever imagined it being. Multiple soft bags for the front. Goggles. Horn cover crests, right? St. Christopher's medal. Leg shield trim. Again, like racks, like here, like I would love a rack like this, right? This one that's underneath this piece of luggage here, but not aware of it being reproduced in any form. Exhaust deflector, a goofy thing. display stand. Put your Vespa up on display. So it's not a model, right? That's putting the whole bike up in the air. Some dealer tools here. Apes. So Hall Master. That's crazy. I've seen one of those. I don't know. I forget where I saw it. Somebody has one of those somewhere still today. And then the models that were available at the time. I think people are pretty familiar with those, but the prices are a little interesting. $269 for a Vespa 50. You know, and roughly twice as much for a GS. GL is not too far below that, and really only a $30 bump from the standard Vespa 150, or you know what we often call a BBB. It's the warranty at that time. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Not sure which page was the original cover. There we go. Okay, I'm going to skip this little guy. This is of the 1962 Vespa 125. So VNB, just the owner's manual. I think there's a lot of videos of those around. Similarly, Allstate motor scooters. These came with the American Allstate bikes. A lot of videos of those around. This one, not seen too much, right? So this is service station manual, and then is it Portuguese or is that Spanish? I don't know. Apologies for my lack of knowledge on that. And then we see all the models, right? So given where we are with these models, this is in this hexagonal logo again. We're talking mid-1970s here. Snow Vespa P series here for 1977. It's unfortunate that this, you know, a lot of this is sort of split here. So even if we put this in a binder, it isn't going to hold together super well. But here we have all the wiring diagrams. Really, this is a shop manual. For all these bikes. So it's really cool if you're a nerd for these things like I am. Vespa 50 electric start. So not a very commonly seen bike, but you know, here's the wiring diagram. I think all these are on Scooter Help. I'm not sure. Scooterhelp.com or org. I can't recall. But you know, if you need anything, you know, if something's not available, let me know, and see if I can find it for you. So again, this sort of walks through all of them. Again, like an automotive shop manual would have, or something like that. It has the instructions for assembly and disassembly and reassembly. All the specifications, piston ring specifications, different models. Crankshaft specifications. So on and so forth. I know these are all available because I reference them frequently. These are all the stock jettings for the various carburetors that were placed on Vespas at the time. Quite useful. I have a whole pile of carburetors over there, Vespa carburetors, pretty much all the models listed here that I'm going to make another video on in the near future. We'll talk about how those carburetors work and what some of the differences are. I'm kind of a nerd in addition for Vespas, just carburetors in general. I really like carburetors, so I'll make some videos on talking about that. All the running in information. So really, you know, everything you'd ever want to know, which is, you know, I guess the way shop manuals usually are, original factory shop manuals. All torque specifications are here, right? So really cool. I wish it was in a little better shape. But given how many years have passed since then, I suppose it's understandable. Then I have a bunch of original catalog of spare parts. I didn't. This marking on here is not original. This, but that's not. I don't know. I didn't put that on there. Again, this is mid 1970s. Again, hexagonal logo. I keep saying that it's sort of a important marker in Piaggio history. I believe it's 1973 or 74. Prior to that, the Piaggio logo is square, and I believe it's late 73, somewhere in there, they changed it to this hexagonal logo, which then they used for quite a number of years, and use a similar one today. And so we can note the error right a little bit by what logo we see on these. Here's the P-series ones. These are originals, right? So these are, you can get these copies of these. Nice versions of these are available. You know, they've been digitized and they're online. So you can certainly get all this information. It's all out there online. But it's cool to have the originals. You see, this is for the P's. This is for the earlier. Well, this is small frames as well as large frames here. But for all the set of models that occurred before the P series, again, people who Vespa types will know that there's a bit of a sea change in terms of how the engines were built a little bit between the pre-P series and the P series. So there's a number of changes that occurs between these two. Vespa 50 special one, so small frame. Amendments, spare parts, 75, 76. And then here we have the Chow and Bravo mopeds, spare parts. So all this other sort of scooter line, and then the moped line. There's also, I'm not going to go too far into this because the moped audience is a little different, but we have this original Grande book too, spare parts. It's pretty cool, similar to the one from '64. Then finally, we have this guy here. So this is not a Piaggio binder, just a binder somebody put in there. And here we have another service manual. Again, I don't know the language, so yeah. Some factory tool depictions in here. I think nearly all, if not all, the factory tools are for this era of Vespas, so the 1960s and 1970s and 1980s era Vespas are all reproduced these days. But it's neat to see them pictured here. It's crankcase separator, so on and so forth. A lot of information there about, sort of how you're supposed to do this stuff, how to take these things apart and build them, the way Piaggio wanted it done, which is usually the right way, right way to do things. Okay. Here we're into the P era, right? So this is after 1977, late 1977, the P series came out and became really the mainstay of the Vespa line until just a few years ago. It was available through, I think, 2015, somewhere in the late, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. This is the new line. Models pictured. Again, you'll note, people who are outside of the North America will look at these and see some strange things here. You see the goofy North American style taillight on both the P200 here and the 125. The odd American style fuel tap. The different, slightly different headset to accommodate the sealed beam headlight. These awkward looking reflectors. Those were all part of the American market requirements. So then here's just operations manual on the P. as well as wiring diagram, which I really like these. I probably shouldn't try to keep them a little nicer, but I use these. Find them to be just such a great resource. It's P200, and then engine assembly, disassembly, right, as well as all the stock specifications associated with the engines. Then this, last but definitely not least for this video, this I really like. This was the dealer assembly and preparation manual, right? So when you were, you're a Piaggio dealer back in the day, and your new load of Vespas come in, this is how to put them together, right? So it shows you how they came in the crate. So here's a Bravo in its crate, how it was crated up, how to identify the frame numbers and so on, how to put them together, gas them up, do general troubleshooting, wiring diagram. This one's for the this is for the mopeds, and then here is for the 50 and then the P series bikes. So I don't know, just really cool, I think. Want to make sure you get some shots. So here's how P was crated up. P series bikes were crated up. Small frame. For the American, you had to put the American tail light on. Didn't come on. Oil feed. Then again, another set of wiring diagrams for the P series. It's really nice to have. And then here is one for the older large frames as well as the older smaller frames. So the Rally, the Sprint. Here you see all the oddball American features, the old googly-eyed turn signals, old style reflectors. So that's how they were when they were new, right? And it's not too many that are still look that way. People stuff gets broken or gets pulled off. Here's how the Rally was created. So when open a crate on a Rally. You can see the procedures are the same essentially as the P series. But here we have the wiring diagrams. This is for the, well, you can read here. PC is the large frame, small frames. VSCs here. And all the base vehicle specifications. And that's it. I don't know, pretty cool stuff, I think. I'm super happy to be able to get them all. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up there. Quick teaser before I shut this off. Next door to us here, right? That is Gran Turismo engine case and associated parts. That's Gran Turismo engine case number, I want to say 267. So have a video of that coming up in the nearest future. Have a good day, everybody.